My husband and I currently live in an apartment that requires a key fob to get into the building, then a regular key for the apartment. Over the weekend, my fob stopped working, and for some reason, the office is dragging its feet replacing it. The office is closed on weekends, so I called Monday to ask for a replacement. My husband's fob is fine, so we're using that in the meantime. I get off work 2 hours after he does, so he keeps the fob, and we agreed that he'd make sure he's at the apartment when I get home so he can let me into the building. So I call him when I'm leaving work to tell him I'll be at the apartment in 15 minutes. I leave work at the same time every day and have for the last 4 years, 5 p.m. Today I left work, called my husband, no answer. I sent him a text message, "Hey, I'm on my way home." I called him 2 more times on my drive home, no answer. Finally, I arrive at the apartment and his truck is in the lot, so I know he's home. I stood in the entrance lobby and called him over and over, no answer, but I ended up locked out for 45 minutes before another tenant left and let me into the building. I get up to the apartment and my husband is playing Elden Ring on our PlayStation with his headphones on. Apparently he bought it today. I walk over, tap him on the shoulder, visibly angry. He gets that "oh heck I've screwed up" face and rips his headphones off. I calmly ask him, "What the heck, dude?" He tells me he lost track of time, totally forgot, etc. His phone was on silent and across the room from him, thus why he didn't answer the calls. I was angry and I wanted to avoid raising my voice or causing a blowout, so I just told him that was an idiot move. Take the fob off his keychain and leave to visit my little sister, which is where I am currently. My husband is texting me, essentially saying I'm the idiot for taking the fob, which means he can't leave the building without getting locked out. I pointed out to him that he left me locked out for 45 minutes and that he was at home with his game, and that as far as I knew, he had no plans to leave the apartment from what he had told me. My sister finds this hilarious, but thinks maybe I was a little too harsh taking the fob when I left. Personally, I feel I wasn't wrong as I have no issue with his gaming. I game myself. My issue is that he left me locked out and standing in the lobby for 45 minutes because he wasn't paying attention. Am I the idiot? Edit. My sister is 5 minutes down the road from where we live. I took off the fob in front of him, told him when I'd be home, and texted him when I got to my sister's. I'm not an hour away. In the event of an emergency, I can be home ASAP. Not the idiot. Keep the fob. Your husband can find an imbued sword key to let himself in and out. Seriously, if you can't handle responsibility, you lose the privilege of the fob, in this case. Who puts on headphones and puts their phone on silent and leaves the phone across the room? He went out of his way to eliminate disturbances, and you're the one who suffered, loosely speaking, for it. Not the idiot. I would be livid. It was a genuine mistake. So long as you're not planning on being away with the fob overnight or anything, you're fine. But taking it to go for a visit to ensure you can get back in later when he's just on the couch gaming is perfectly reasonable. OP, it was a simple mistake that could happen to anyone, so don't be mad, but I noticed that you never mentioned any apology from him, just a lot of excuses for his actions. Then he decides to turn it around and turn himself into the victim by saying you trapped him in the apartment, yet you needed the fob to get back into your home after visiting with your sister. Plus, he already clarified that he was busy gaming and wouldn't be going anywhere. Here is why I disagree with you. He knew his wife was dependent on him and he pulled this to avoid it. When you put your phone on silent and leave it across the room, you are choosing not to deal with something. That is literally why we all do it. He's an idiot for this, and she's justified being mad. I, 20 male, have 2 younger siblings, Joe and Jill. They're twins, both 18 and graduating high school this year. Jill is my parents' favourite because they've always wanted a daughter, while Joe is their scapegoat because I guess he's the bonus baby they never actually asked for. Of course, I'm mostly better off than Joe as I'm the oldest grandson from both sides of my family, almost all of whom are just as blatant as my parents are about their favouritism. I felt awful for Joe, so I did what I could to make him feel less alone. Like when Jill got to go shopping with Mommy and Daddy, I took Joe skating with my friends. When our parents were too busy watching Jill's kiddie pageant, I dragged my best bud to sit through Joe's elementary school musical. Small things like that. It all started as pity moves, but soon my friends liked Joe better than me, while Jill's princess syndrome got in her head, so now I spend more time with Joe because I simply like him better than Jill. I never said it out loud, but I don't make it a secret that I prefer not to spend my time with entitled brats. Anyway, as I said, they're graduating soon. They both already had their choice of college, accommodations, etc. Unsurprisingly, Jill's going to a uni in San Francisco, fully funded by our parents. Joe's going to the same uni as mine in Seattle, but a different campus just 20-ish minutes away. He got a full ride, which apparently makes him ineligible to get any financial help from his parents. This is also hardly surprising, so I made some calls to ask around to see if anyone is hiring next fall. I did this while on FaceTime with Joe. I was reassuring him that we'll find him a job that doesn't suck and pays enough, that he's better off without Dad's money anyway, because we both know it comes with strings attached, and this way, Mom and Dad wouldn't be able to stick their noses into his purchases. Finally, I got him to feel better about the whole thing and logged off. I guess Jill overheard because the next day she sent me texts after texts demanding I help her find jobs because she doesn't want Dad nagging her. When I told her, politely by the way, that I don't know anyone in San Francisco and that she'd get more help from Mom and Dad, she blew up, saying all these things about me favouring Joe over her, which, yeah, it's true. I love both of my siblings, but I don't particularly like Jill. It's not like she's making herself likeable though, so am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your brother is fortunate to have you, but remember that it's not your sister's fault that her parents favoured her. It's also not her fault that this made her entitled. It's also not your job to help your siblings. You're doing it for your brother because you want to. You have good reasons not to want to do it for Jill. She didn't even ask nicely. She just demanded it. It's about time that she understands that this is not how you get people to do favours for you. She's still a kid behaving how she's been trained to behave. Parents have been unfair to both twins. Making her a spoiled favourite doesn't do any favours if she becomes spoiled and unpleasant to be around. Maybe a dose of reality would help. You are the idiot. A lot of people don't understand that in a scapegoat versus golden child scenario, neither kid is really winning. Both are being damaged by the way they're being treated, and while it's easier to notice the negative impacts of neglect on Joe, it isn't always easy to see the negative effects of the extreme pressure on the golden child until it's too late. I suggest you reevaluate your behaviour. Try building a new and genuine relationship with Jill. It sounds like she could use someone that just treats her like a person. My 25 male girlfriend, 22, and I have been together for over a year. She's covered in tattoos, which I've always liked. She's always been artistic and has been tattooing herself and her friends for years. My parents are more conservative and traditional, so when they planned a trip to visit us, I told her just to wear longer clothes to cover them up. She refused, and on the day they visited, she wore a crop top with shorts that showed off most of her tattoos. I warned her again before they came in about it, but she shrugged me off. I was shocked when my parents came in and complimented her on the tattoos, especially my mom. My mom spent ages talking to her about tattoos, so my dad and I went out to the backyard. When we came back in, my mom rushed up to my father to show off the tattoo my girlfriend gave her. It was 4 small flowers running up her arm. She said it represented our family. My dad loved it, and my mom was busy telling everyone on Facebook about it. My girlfriend then came downstairs, and I asked her why she would put that on my mom without asking me. She laughed in my face and said my mom was a grown woman. My parents then took my girlfriend's side, so I just stormed off upstairs. I could hear them for hours downstairs until my parents left. It's been a few days and I can't bring myself to talk to her after she did that behind my back. So, am I the idiot? Why are you upset exactly? Because your grown mom didn't ask your permission to get a tattoo? Or because your experienced girlfriend agreed to give a grown woman a tattoo that the grown woman wanted? Or is it because you're upset your parents are more open-minded than you thought? You are the idiot. You are the idiot for asking your girlfriend to cover up, for assuming your parents would be so judgmental that they would dislike her for her ink, and especially for being angry at 2 consenting grown-up women on what they decided to do with their bodies. Your parents might keep her and ditch you. I don't even understand why OP is mad. What's wrong with Mom getting a tattoo from a tattoo artist? And how cool that she immediately bonded with your girlfriend like that and surprised you with her acceptance. It sounds like OP is the conservative and traditional one, but he's made an exception for his girlfriend and his girlfriend only. You're upset because you wanted your conservative parents to disapprove of your tattooed girlfriend. For some reason, it sounds like you wanted their disapproval. Who are you? A teen rebel without a cause? What are you trying to escape? Do you not want a relationship with your parents or your girlfriend? I think OP has decided that tattooed women are for sleeping with, not marrying. Then his tattooed girlfriend gave his mom a tattoo and his brain literally exploded. $20 says after she dumps your ass for behaving this way, she will still maintain a good relationship with your parents and will be doing your dad's first tattoo. With loosened restrictions, family and friends decided to go abroad for a birthday celebration for my father. On the last day, I booked a restaurant for everyone as a thank you to my father. I would pick up the entire bill for over 30 people plus children. Everyone was informed of where, when, 4 p.m, and what to wear, restaurant dress code, expensive place. One person was missing. Lisa, the daughter of my mother's longtime friend. Lisa is the type of person who has a hard time sticking to start times. Unfortunately, she also has a habit of making everything about her. We all waited for 30 minutes to see if she would show, then everyone moved on from appetizers to the main course. By 7 p.m, everyone was ordering desserts when Lisa, her 4 children, and some random guy came and joined one of the side tables after trying to get a space on the main table with my father. She berated everyone for not waiting for her before ordering and snapped at the waiter to bring her what she wanted off the menu. By 7:30, most of us were finished and people started getting up to leave. I closed the bill. By this time, Lisa was in the middle of her main course. She ordered the most expensive items, including 2 bottles of the most expensive champagne. As I started getting up, she told me to hang on a bit as she wasn't finished yet and I needed to pay. I told her that when I invited people for this dinner, it was understood that I would be paying for those that came on time and were finished by the time I left, not for people eating long after I had left the place. The restaurant manager heard this and wouldn't let Lisa or her party leave with me and called the police on her as she started crying, saying she had no money to pay for the meal. The guy also had no money. When we returned home, her mother spammed my phone because Lisa was taken to jail and is still stuck in the country we visited for my dad's birthday. She wants me to settle the bill as it's my legal obligation, cover her new travel costs, and buy her expensive jewelry as an apology. She sent me links to what to buy her. My mother says that maybe I should bail her out this one last time. 2 of her baby daddies want me to at least pay for the new return tickets for their children, as the CPS of that country are looking after them. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She showed up 3 hours late with uninvited guests and expected everyone else to wait on her and pay her bill. She and her mother expect you to bail her out of jail and buy her gifts to apologize? Why are you friends with this person? She's a leech of the worst kind. Don't give her any money. Cut all contact with her. This woman is not a friend. How tacky is it to ask for expensive jewelry as an apology? LOLOL. What? Oh yeah, don't apologize and cut these people off like gangrene. Do not bail her out and do not pay for the children's flights home. The baby daddy should do it. Everyone's the idiot, not just you and Lisa, but also the rest of the family. Only the children don't suck. Up to where you didn't pay for her bill, you were not the idiot, that's on her. However, now that it's come to children being stuck with foreign CPS, all adults involved who have the money to resolve this and haven't done so are horrible. My son, 30, and his girlfriend, 28, recently had their first child. That made me a first-time grandmother. Before the birth, the girlfriend sent me their registry for the baby shower. I bought them the crib and stroller. Important to note the exact ones they selected. I also gave them an extra gift, a basket filled with clothes from newborn size and up, some she would fit into as she grew, a few toys, a restaurant gift card for them, and finally a book. Not just any book though. My mum had gifted this book to my husband, myself, and my son when I was pregnant with him. He was my first child. She wrote us a beautiful note on the first page and blessed our child. Below her note, I did the exact same in my own words, but I also included how special this was in the message, now passing down this sentimental book to them. A few days after the baby shower, I receive a text from the girlfriend. So that you know, I do not need you telling me how to raise my own child. I was confused. I showed my husband the message. I asked him, did I say something off at the baby shower and not know it? He was just as confused as I was. I responded to her saying, I'm sorry I've upset you, but I'm honestly not sure what I said wrong. The next morning she responds, it was nothing you said but that book. Way to imply I don't know anything about being a mother. I threw it in the trash. Also, by the way, I hate pink. You can have all these clothes back. I almost wanted to ask if this was a joke, since the stroller and crib she selected had pink splotches in the design. but I was more upset over the book. You threw it in the trash? What? The book was absolutely nothing bad. It was a guide specifically for new moms. With the unwanted clothes, I started buying most of them after the gender reveal. The return window was closed. I held on to them and gave them to a couple in need expecting a girl. They were very grateful and I was glad I could help them out. So, am I the idiot for trying to tell them how to raise their child? Not the idiot. Talk to your son and tell him how hurt you feel and how upsetting this experience has been. It sounds like some real personality issues here. This is downright rude. She could at least have said thanks and shelved it, but this shows an unfortunate lack of manners and decency. There are a lot of kids out there that need clothes, etc. If they don't keep your generous gifts, I hope they go to someone who can use them. Not the idiot, but my guess would be that the daughter-in-law lacks the connection to OP that OP's mom had with OP when she gave the book to OP. Hence, OP's gift was misinterpreted as an unspoken criticism of the daughter-in-law's parenting skills. Everyone's the idiot. First, people do registries for a reason, so people know what to get without asking a bunch of questions. You got things not on the registry and it wasn't what was wanted for their baby. She shouldn't have lashed out like that. She could have just said thank you and donated them without all the drama. Also, the book. My mother sent us many books for our first and we donated them all. We didn't want her opinion about parenting. We had our own. Also, if it was your own copy, the medical information would be some 30 years out of date. Seriously, I've had 2 kids 5 years apart, and some of the things have changed in that time, and I ran into several of them.